Sheikh, we are aware of the profound virtues of fasting on the day of Arafat. However, due to the political distance, geographical distance, and differences in lunar sightings, we in India observe this day. If, for instance, if Saudi Arabia observes the 9th of Dhul Hijjah on Wednesday, we in India might observe it on Thursday based on our own moon sightings. When then we should fast to gain the maximum rewards? According to the day the pilgrims stand on the Arafat or on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah.
So when are you going to celebrate your Eid, Haidar?
People celebrate different days.
No. Akhi, listen to me. The Eid is on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah. Arafah is on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah. How do we know when Dhul Hijjah begins? By the moon sighting, not by what Saudi Arabia does. Saudi Arabia's sighting is for Saudi Arabia. The sighting of the beginning of the month of Dhul Hijjah in America is different than Saudi Arabia, and it's different than that of Indonesia, for example. So you follow your country and their moon sighting. If they say Arafah is on Thursday while in Mecca they're standing in Arafah on Wednesday, that's fine. You would say, okay, Thursday Arafah in India is Eid in Mecca. It's no problem, because Fajr in Mecca is already almost close to noon in India. So why wouldn't you say, oh, how can we pray different Fajr? Because the sighting of the moon is different, the sunrise and the sunset is different likewise, and Allah knows best. As for the 4 rak'ahs before Isha prayer, this is something that is an issue of dispute. There is no authentic hadith attributed to the Prophet ﷺ to prove it. So a lot of the scholars say that in this case we refrain. We're not going to accept it. We're not going to do it or perform it. However, there are narrations that some of the companions used to affirm it and do it. And there are narrations stating that these are similar to praying night prayer on the night of decree, Laylat al-Qadr. But again, these are not authentic. And there are no authentic hadith to the Prophet ﷺ. But because some of the companions, there are narrations that state that they have done it, so they said that, okay, this means that we can do it. So it's an issue of dispute whether to do it or not to do it. I am personally inclined not to do it, because as long as there is no authentic hadith from the Prophet himself, I don't see any reason to do it. Okay, what about the companions? May Allah be pleased with them. All of them are on the top of my head, with the sole of their feet, without any doubt. But it's up to you. If you feel like doing it, I wouldn't say that you're doing an innovation, because the companions had done it. And if you decide to leave it, I wouldn't say that you're wrong, because the Prophet did not do it, nor there is an authentic hadith of him doing it.